Hello. Hi.
How
Hi.
are
How are
you,
you?
Erna?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, no, 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 not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not. What time is it? We're like 3 minutes. No problem. No problem at
Oh, I'm
all.
gonna try different lighting here. Oh my God, I'm going crazy.
Purple, my favorite color.
Yeah, I did it especially for you.
How are you? Good morning. I know it's super early where you are,
Yes,
right?
7:34 right now over here. Thank you for
Yee.
having me.
Oh, that's my pleasure. And I've been looking forward to having you for a good over a month now, ever since we've met through the 10X challenge, right?
Yes, it's been a while. Time flew by for sure. Thanks for inviting me and being
Yes.
patient.
Oh, that's my pleasure. That's my pleasure. Your past and your progress and your path was is absolutely fascinating, Erna. You've had, from what I've read, you've had over 19 years experience as an entrepreneuress. I like to say.
Actually, to be accurate, I was in corporate world for like 15 years. I did have
Okay.
19 years of experience in branding, brand design, product design, launching brands for global brands. Like for example, like
Hmm.
Ralph Lauren's, Kate Spade New York,
Wow.
Williams Sonoma, Patri Barn, things like you seen out in the mall or like
Yes.
online, organics. Yeah, so I've done a lot of those for like 19 years, but as entrepreneur for my own business, it's been
Mhm.
like over almost 6 years now, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been an
Awesome.
exciting journe since then too.
And
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. And also, as I was reading, you have also your company is called Blooming Aces, which I
Yes.
love, by the way. How did you come
Thank
up with
you.
the name, first of all?
Ooh, I think I started with Curious Morphology, which is my art brand. That's how I started
Oh.
like 6 years ago. I was starting with just a
Hmm.
hobby business, doing my own stuff, and I sold it, at a local fair, which was
Okay.
doing really well for like 3 years. I did that, and then but on the side, I was doing design, for freelance work and retainers. And
Yes.
Blooming Aces came about because how did I come up with it? It just came with it. Like I was just trying to, you just scribble around, and I always want to do something a little bit more edgier because Curious
Yes.
Morphology is more like whimsical. And I just felt
Okay.
like a part of me is not like being expressed correctly. And I was
Hmm.
doing like design work for like brands, that's like a little bit edgier, a little bit more like more somewhat modern, but at the same time very approachable. So I was trying to
Hmm.
find something. It's kind of like a journey of finding myself as well. So
I
and then I came up
understand.
with the idea of like being an ace. It's being number one, and everybody start with themselves, which is they're like their number one. They should be their number one. They should be their number one fan first before everybody else come on board. So that's kind of how I come up with the ace. But then I always love the name blooming. I started to thinking about some other words that goes with it. So it just one day it just came to me like blooming aces. It just have the edginess. It also have the deep meaning of purpose because I always like
Yes.
personal development. I always like growing. I
Hmm.
love seeing people grow. I love to help people grow. So I figured like so it just came to me and I'm like, sounds good to me. And there have been a little bit of resistance about that name because it sounds like a card game, right? It's like the ace.
Oh, yes, it's true. It's true. I didn't. Yes.
Yeah, some people think that. But I was thinking, like, what, that's not really a bad idea, because like as an entrepreneur, you are kind of gambling a little bit. I'm saying like you're taking risks at the same time, right?
Good point.
Technically, I'm like,
Good
well,
point.
I guess that has double meaning. But at the same time, that's the reason why actually I designed the logo a certain way, so it's really alleviate that kind of resistance on the name. I make it a little bit more
Hmm.
on the elegant side. It's a capital B and then the small case A, with the infinite
Yes.
sign that connect the two, which is basically infinitely growing from within. So it's kind of like goes with the core values that we have and the mission to
Yes.
connect.
Yes.
Yeah, we have our mission which I'm going to dive into it right away.
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
To connect over 10 million people with their superpower, from within, right? And a lot of people, including myself before, we don't really know like what is our superpower. We have talents, we have skills, right?
Yes.
And people told us what our skills are. And all along, I thought my superpower was like art, which is, it was a talent. It's a talent. My design skills is a talent. And but then when I connect myself with my why was to basically make friends. I love to connect with, right? Which is what is that? Creative expressions include my art, my writing, music, dance, and anything I create. Anything I create could be cooking. So it could be Play-Doh, right? So I just feel like the purpose is basically to connect. Yeah. And then so the superpower part of it is kind of like a combination of your talent, right? And at the same time also, what is your purpose? Together that become like your superpower,
That's
and
beautiful.
Yeah. And I love seeing people when they connect there, because you just see them light up. I have a friend who said that what does he do? He does something else. Some kind of engineering, right? And I asked him, so if you were to like not worry about the money, what would you be doing? He's a personal trainer. I'm like, what? Okay, then why don't you do that, right? And he said, so a lot of time, like people didn't realize how close they are to their dream. How close they are to their passion business. You just have to ask the question. Why don't you do it?
True.
Yeah,
the door is right there.
Yeah, my little sister, we had a talk this 5 years ago. I think I want to say 5 years ago. She was living in Orange County.
Yeah.
And she has 4 kids, loving husband, right? She's also a graphic designer / art director. To me, she's an art director, although her profession is graphic designer, but she is up here to me, And then she's like, one time I asked her, so what is it, the 5 things you would, if you don't have to worry about the money, what would you wish to have, right? And she said, I wish to have a lot of family time, and I wish to have a bigger house and this and that,
Yeah.
And then so I said, so what stopped you from doing that right now? And then she said, and she paused. A lot of times you just have to get people to think, right? To pause for a second. Why can't I have it right now? Then you know what happened?
Such a good point.
A year after that, she moved to Colorado. Okay, she moved to Colorado, get a bigger house. Okay, and her husband got a new job as a professor at like a very good university. And now she's living her dream. Basically, like, this is like how fast it is. Within a year, okay, she put the plan together and then start going for it, and then it's all a matter of just relocating, and then make those choices for you.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you just have to like really think. It's not that far sometimes.
Yeah, I think the problem is that sometimes we're so caught up that we forget that we have a choice. You know what I mean? That, I don't have to stay like this. I can move, from A to B or B to C or whatever. But sometimes we forget, we're so caught up to, we're so focused to what's happening now, problems, whatever it is, the situation that we are in, that we forget that, yes, I have control. I can, I have other options, basically. Right?
Yes. I think growing up, I feel like when we were young, we were so pure. Hi, Anais. So we are so pure when we were little. We said, I just want to be this. I don't want to be that. And then a lot of times, like some people are more fortunate than the others, and like where they have supportive parents, supportive surroundings, right? Where they said, you can be whatever you like, pursue it. But some people have families that are not like supportive, and they question you, like, you want to be president, or you want to be like astronaut, like to me that's the thing. Like I felt what the society is missing is that supporting, the supporting community for them. And that's the reason, one of the reasons I actually created Blooming Aces is an extension of myself, But because I also need that, I personally need that. I was doing my own
Yes.
entrepreneurship for a while on my own. Actually, not completely on my own,
Mm-hmm.
because I have my sisters with me as like my team, and they're my
Nice.
friend, they're my supporter. My sister Ernie, shout out for Ernie, and shout out for Henny. They've been there for
Shout out,
many years with me.
Ernie.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out for my best friend Cindy Parwono. They all now power our Blooming Aces team. I'm so happy with
Go ahead.
having, yeah, and I also have like my team members, Dave, my friend from college time. We didn't go to the same college, but he's like our animator. And I have like a lot of other new team members that's been with us. Eric, we just met quite a bit cool people, and I just feel like that each one of us has a dream. Like if we stick together, it's just much more fun of a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
I have a lot of skill set. I could do the business, like the Curious Morphology, by myself, but it was just not as fun when you have your team with different talents, and we can create bigger things. And one day, this is like, I want to say last year, before I actually launched Blooming Aces. I've been thinking about Blooming Aces for almost 2 years now, But then I got sidetracked a little bit, because there was a company that was going to hire me full time, and I was like, do I want to go full time? I was like kind of on the fence. The company is really great. It's called Aqueous, but the thing is, at the same time, I guess things didn't pan out the way we envisioned, but I think maybe for good reasons, because I need to pursue Blooming Aces. And COVID happened, actually. COVID actually a blessing for Blooming Aces, because because of COVID, my workload went down, right? And I actually have the time to redesign, rebrand. We actually start having meetings in June.
Space to think.
Yeah, I call out a meeting. We have like 8 people. Half of them are like new members that I actually met, strangers actually, and one of them, I was going to shout out for Kelly. She is also one of my IG friend. We connected. It's funny that she was thinking about calling me, and I happened to reach out to her, and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how, but I was thinking about reaching out to you, but I was too shy, and I'm like, oh wow, so I invited her, and then one of the member, he was actually he delivered pizza to my house, and then I look at him, I was like, what do you like to do? Like what's your aspiration in life? And then he said, journalist. His name is Eric Pun. And so I said, you don't belong doing this, And then he's like, okay. So then we end up like meeting at coffee shop, and he was just a very mature, young 20-something year old.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? So he joined our team, and he's like our copy editor now. And
wow.
Yeah, so I just feel like there are enough, like there's a lot of people out there, that is like being passed on for opportunities, and they just have good heart, they have great skill set, they're just very humble, and they're like quiet, they're like more quiet, and they're a little bit more like, they're not boastful, right? So a lot of time they're not really got spot on quickly. Yeah, I just love finding those rising stars. I call it the underdogs. I was one of the underdogs because I'm bilingual. Yeah. So to me, like sometimes being bilingual, I have to like work 3 times harder to prove myself.
Yes.
To offset my language barrier.
Yeah, I'm trilingual. I have Creole,
really?
French, and English.
Cool.
So I understand totally what you're saying right now.
Although I have to say though, when you have like French and a British accent, that's actually a plus. Like for me, like coming from Asia, is not a plus. Let me tell you. All right, it's actually something to to make fun of. But right now, I have to say, like I think Gal got it. For I watched her one time. Like I had this kind of like self-doubt moment, right? Where I feel like, oh, I wish I have a perfect English, And then I watched some of her interviews, and I thought she was hilarious, and she was very cute. And I love that she said she's bilingual. I like that, the word English as second language. It sounds bad, but which is bilingual. I'm like, man, that's it's a powerful word, right? So I'm gonna use that from now on. I'm bilingual.
Yes, it's a term we use very, very well because in Canada mostly French and English coexist. We
Yeah.
use it's a word we use often in our language, basically
Mhm.
bilingual. I'm bilingual. Are you bilingual? When you
Yeah.
go for a job interview, that's
Yeah.
one of the things they ask you often. Are you bilingual? Can you speak
Uh-huh.
French and English?
Yeah. Actually, it's to me like by saying bilingual, I'm like, wait a minute, that's actually a plus, right? Some people only speak just one language, which is English. I'm like, I should
Yes,
not put myself down. You know what I'm saying? I should be proud that I speak two
never.
languages. You see what I'm saying? I actually have a little bit. I can understand Mandarin too, Chinese. So that's almost like two and a half language.
There you
So
go.
to me, like then suddenly, like yeah,
Two
I
and a
don't I
half.
don't feel as bad. Yeah, two and a half, right? And you have three, so
Exactly.
that's like kudos.
Exactly. But I think we all, when English is not our first language, and as Tatiana was saying, she says not having English as a mother tongue is hard. She's absolutely right because even though you are bilingual and you master the language, sometimes when it comes to show up and especially on social media and I know you have your own podcast as well and stuff like that. Sometimes we have a little doubt, is the message that I'm trying to convey, is it 100% understood as it would be maybe if I would speak from my mother tongue, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. I think so.
Totally agree.
Yes, totally agree.
And talking about your podcast, talk about the devil, I should say. Tell us a little bit about your podcast. When did you start it,
Ooh.
Erna?
Podcast started recently, actually. We soft launched, I want to say, Blooming Aces. I want to say like September or August, late August of September,
Okay.
right? And then I always wanting to do this podcast. I have a certain vision, on how to do the podcast. But one day, we all have this. One of our viewer right now, Anna, she shared with us about one of my podcast guests share with us like bullshit monsters. Okay, the concept of bullshit monster, which is like procrastination bullshit monster, right? We have had every different kind of excuse on not to proceed, so you want a perfection, kind of thing. So then one day, one of my first podcast guest, Maria Tan, she
Okay.
actually, she reached out to me and then we connected. I love her energy. She was very confident. And then she told me, yeah, let's do this. And then I was like, how should we do it? And she said, IG Live. I'm like, what is IG Live? And then that's what she taught me about IG Live. And I'm like, this is how you do it. So we went on a Zoom. She showed me how. And then it's like, okay, let's set up a time. So we set up a time. She became my first podcast guest. There's no fancy
Awesome.
setup. It's kind of like this, like we just did it. And we have a little bit of a
That's
connection
cool.
issue because I think when I do it upstairs, it has a little bit of
Uh-huh.
that. So now I do it downstairs, so it seems a little bit better. Hopefully, it's streaming better right now with you. I'm not sure.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it is. There's been a little,
Glitches.
freezes here and there, but
Mhm.
it might be on my side as well. I have the same issue. Sometimes it depends
Mhm.
of the room that I'm in,
Yeah.
but everything is going smoothly.
Yeah. Because from my end, you sometimes froze. Like I noticed quite a bit of froze.
Oh,
Still images from my end, but I can hear you. Like you
okay,
continue. Like I can hear you, which is good.
awesome. As
And
long as you can hear me,
yeah, I can
I'm
hear
happy.
you. It's just the image sometimes. Yeah. So how we get started? That's actually how we get started. I thought she set our first podcast well.
Uh-huh.
It's about owning self-worth, and I actually like to. So at that moment, I just realized, what, I just have to get started. Why I
Yay.
get started, right? I get started because I want to share the message more than trying to look perfect. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, because to me, like I felt a little bit of. I realized that there's this selfishness when you hold back some information because you want to look perfect. That's just my
Mm.
opinion, you know. And
No,
it's
you're
nothing
absolutely
wrong because
right.
a lot it's a perception, right? So growing up, we think
Hey,
like, oh, we
Sharon.
have to look perfect, otherwise we're not doing the audience justice. And then I'm like, that, you know, that's true too, you know. But at the same time, when I've like, you know what, if I can learn about owning self-worth now, you know, and I can apply it right now, I will be very
Exactly.
thankful. You know, I will be very thankful that I heard about it, you know. That's why I decided to just do it, go on IG Live, and let's go, you know. And I get a lot of great reception from the first one. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people that listened to it, they were like really like, oh my gosh, you know, I learned so much, and this that. So that kind of validated my new way of thinking, which is progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Although you aim for
Yes.
perfection, but get out there, get your message out there, right? Then I
Yes.
joined this
Sharon
10x
says
challenge. Yeah,
self-worth is
yeah.
everything.
Mm-hmm. And then we both joined the 10x challenge, and you hear all of this speaker, the successful speakers,
Oh my
right?
goodness.
All of those mentors, they said, uh, Ty Lopez said, like, just get out there and get engaged, right? Remember
And
that
it's
one?
funny that you're saying that, Erna, because that's what I was about to mention, because I was going to say, it seems to me that you get the idea and you just do it. There's
Yes.
no overthinking. There's no, oh my God, you just do it. And, you know, whatever, you know, you'll go along, you know, you'll figure it out as you go. Am I
Right,
right?
exactly. It's just, you know, like you just like do it, get engaged, and pivot as you need, improve as you need. Oh
Sending you
my gosh,
some love to
I,
Sharon.
I have to share with you our second podcast. Anais, if you hear you, we're gonna laugh about this because that was like the worst connection ever. I don't know if like
Oh,
some of our viewer that been through that one, but it was so funny that I felt like I was so excited to talk to Anais about like, the bullshit monsters, right? I was so excited about the topic. And then, like, you know, I do not want to lose that chance to talk to her. I'm the kind of person, you know, like, if I'm curious about something, I want to learn it now. I'm like, I want to
yes.
learn it now. You know? So we log off and we came back in and I still have a
Yeah.
choppy connection. So what I decided to do to entertain that signal drop, so we did dance. Every time we have signal drop, we dance, right? And then I'm so like this, you know, like every time we have signal drop, we dance, you know, and so it's becoming a
I love it.
funny entertainment every time there's a signal drop. Instead of being annoying, we actually end up dancing, you know. So and Anais, so it was really great too. Like we, you know, she's a great guest. She was just participating the whole time, and she came up with that idea. She's like, "Why don't you?" I said, "Like, I promise I'm gonna edit this video, which is on YouTube now, and my YouTube." Yeah, Blumesa's YouTube, and then we actually, based on her suggestion, we end up editing those signal drop dance into a separate blooper episode. Okay, so
Get
yeah, so
out.
I'm like, okay, I'll do it because you know you've been so great, you
Great
know.
way to repurpose some
Repurpose.
content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I just realized, you know what? We don't have to take things too seriously. You know, every single one of people that does podcast, there has to be some kind of bloopers. You know what I mean? Even
Of
movie has blooper,
course.
and actually a lot of people like watching the bloopers. You know, sometimes. You know, so I'm like,
Yes.
yeah. So that was my second podcast, right? And it just start
People
rolling.
love famous show bloopers. They just love them. So why
Yeah.
not, you know?
Exactly. So how I started is like that. You know, it's just a friend suggested, let's go on IG Live. I was like, this is how you do it. I'm like, okay, let's set up the date, and we hop on. And I just, like because my purpose is all connecting with people. I find podcasts is just like an extension of my daily life. You know, like just chatting with friends and connecting, and I'm just learning from each other, right? So
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
just love. I don't never overthink I set up some questions. You know, I have like I always prepare like 5 questions, beginning, middle, end. But in the middle, I just kind of like listen to what they say, and I'm
Yeah.
just like my normal self. I was just asked like, what is that? What is, like, because I want to learn it at the end of the day. You know,
Exactly.
and yeah.
It's funny that you say that because it's the same. That's the reason why I wanted to have more guests on Mindfeed.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing
Yeah.
because I love exchanging, with people. I love knowing, what got you started.
Yeah.
Where you are right now, you know, in
Yeah.
terms of an entrepreneur. What type of mindset did you have, you know, to get the strength to come through and do what you do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that can inspire other people, you know, to take action themselves, to keep on going, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do that more often here. And it, just like you said, the middle, I do prepare a little bit as well, but the middle, it's really like, you know what? How would you be if you had a friend over, you know? Like, or if
Yes.
you would be
Exactly.
at a
Exactly.
bar
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
cocktail and just
Yeah.
enjoying a conversation. So
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
the state of mind I put myself into, and it's
It's
great.
fun. Yeah, it's totally fun. I'm so glad you have the same way of like approaching that too, you know. I
Yes,
have guests when
absolutely.
they come, you know, they're like, oh, you know, should I prepare the answer? Should I prepare the question? I was like, no, not really. I was like, you know, we're just going to be candid and you just be yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And just to go back a little bit to what you were saying, you were talking about your friend. It's just to say authenticity is always the best, you know, to go, you
That's
know,
right.
to show your authentic self
Yes. Hmm.
wherever you go.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
And you talked about the 10 million entrepreneurs to get to their next level in business and life.
Yes.
10 million.
I was
How
going to
did you
shoot.
come
I was
up?
going to shoot for 1 billion, but you know what? I have to think about, you know, people are gonna see that as like not realistic. So I'm like, okay, I'll do like 10 million first.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm already like, you know, I help brands already. So technically, the reason why I feel that that is not far off is because this. The reason why I love to when I left my corporate job, it was a six-figure,
Uh-huh.
you know, income corporate job, which is, you know, quite a bit of sacrifice, but at the same time it was like a no-brainer to me. Like at that
Mm-hmm.
moment I already been there
Wow.
for 15 years. I commuted like 1.5 hours each way for 15 years, which is, so when I calculate, I did the math one day. One time, like I did the math and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you know, in 15 years, for that 15 years from that commute, I could have built a business, you know? So then after I saw that, I'm like, I cannot go back.
An
You know, I cannot go back to
empire.
that. Yeah, I was like, you know what, you know, I have more capacity, you know, so I started doing like, you know, my Curious Morphology brand and stuff like that while I was doing full-time
Mm-hmm.
work, not in therapy, because I have very good work ethic, you know, I just have extra capacity, you know, so, and I love doing it. Every time I'm doing my art, I
Yeah.
love it, you know, so I will stay up, you know, I will do whatever, you know, to actually get it done. When I see a goal, I will always
Yeah.
achieve it. That's my record. My track record is like, when I set my goal, I'm very focused. You know, and then the reason why you have to focus, you know, once you have a goal, you connect it with your heart, right? It's like, you know, this is what fulfill me, right?
Yes.
Then it's every decision that there's going to be distraction coming your way, always, right? And then, but it's so easy when you're so focused, you ask yourself, is this action going to help me get there or not? So you can say yes or no faster, you know?
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going to out to this party, am I gonna get closer to my thing? What kind of party, right? Is it a bunch of good network, or is not? You know, or like, is it just gonna be fun? And then, you know, so to me, like, you know, that's kind of an easy thing. You know, if I'm doing this task, you know, will that help me? You know what I mean? So I'm very
I
focused on that, and
understand.
I want people to actually get learning about how to get focused on that, because
Intentional.
yeah, yeah. So it's great, you know. So to me that helped my decision a lot more faster, you know. So yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
I think you've just taught us
Yeah. Mhm.
something right there, Erna.
So yeah, back to the 10 million. This is how I was starting to talk about why 10 million. Okay. Originally I
Mm-hmm.
started with 8 million, but I started 10 million. Um, it's a number I just said, you know. And basically, the way we're gonna get there is because we're gonna help entrepreneurs. Now, imagine one entrepreneur can create jobs, like, okay, I'm gonna shout out one of my clients, Meaningful Mantras, for example, right? And she
Hello,
was,
meaningful
yeah,
mentors.
yeah. She was an inspiring young lady. So her name is Sophia. She was a Teen Vogue model. And she came to me, I was introduced by her mom, which is my friend and then a previous client from my previous job.
Yeah.
So she said, you have to help my daughter. And then she showed me pictures. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty, you know. And then I said, I'll meet with her. And she wants to do like a label, you know. She created a self-love brand. And because she has certain story for her past, which she's gonna share one of these days. But it's everything's about you are mantra, all that empowerment, self-love brand, and I was like,
Wow.
It's fine. She was only 19 when I met her. Okay, 19, like my daughter almost, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna help you. And at that time, she, to me, like when I start helping someone like her, right, she started with like 1,000 followers at the time. Now she's at 3,000 followers or something, and she sell off her brand. I think she sold out during this Black Friday. We did a lot of rush design work for that, because she's trying to launch these little mini candles and stuff. And to me, like, by helping one entrepreneur, I gain that impact, right? And that's a little, that extension of one entrepreneur that we help is going to create that. So one time, one of my friend actually asked me, how do you measure your success? When you said you want to make 10 million impact, right? How do you going to get there? I was like, I will never be able to measure it, honestly, because it's already on the way. I don't count, like if God will count that, I don't really care, but ideally, if I have one entrepreneur, you don't even know how many impact that created. So
exactly. How many jobs? How many?
Oh, yeah. How many people like we helped the like Aquis brand that I mentioned earlier. The people love their candles. I have to share one of his story actually. He said one time, this is a candle, okay, a fragrance candle. You think nothing about candles, right? He shared this in our the last like holiday party, his holiday party, and he said that someone wrote him a letter. I think she was in the hospital. And she said, she wrote down, she was like ill, and then she wrote down a letter thanking Aquis owner for creating the candle that like make her go through her days. I'm like, wow, that's an impact, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes one product could create that impact for one person at a time, right? So to me, like by helping entrepreneur, I'm gonna get to my impact faster, and I will never know when that is, and it's okay. And this is I would like to also shout out to Simon Sinek, for that idea of infinite game, right? Everything is all about the long game, not the short game, So we just gonna keep going with our mission, like imagine like Martin Luther King, right? He never count, like he just have a dream. And then he doesn't count how many people are going to jump on that dream. He's going to keep going until the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? And the legacy, continue.
Keeps on.
So, and that's what I'm hoping with Blooming Aces.
Exactly.
So hopefully it's not me, that's going to keep going. It's going to be the mission that keep going, Blooming Aces is going to be
your legacy.
Yeah, Blooming Aces I want to be like a symbol of something, a symbol of good core values, doing good business, embracing your passion, always striving for your freedom lifestyle and inner peace, So to me, like that's what I talk about with my team. We have about like 14 people now in our team, and each one of them, I will talk to them different time, and sometime in the group, reminding them that, I want us to each represent what Blooming Aces stand for, So in our website, bloomingaces.com, we put down like our core values, where we have respect, integrity, teamwork, right? We do not like people that double face, fake. We don't like people that's like just selfish and or in it for themselves only, at least not in our team, you know what I mean? I cannot say much about clientele, but I love our clients actually. I'm kind of like choosy right now with our clientele because if we're gonna make an impact, I want to make it a good impact. I want to help people that's really good, meant well for people. And we have about,
Yes.
since 10X, this is amazing growth. I have to say, 10X helped me actually start promoting.
That was it's funny because that was going to be my next question to you in terms of how what impact 10X made for you, basically.
Yeah, I have to say, Grant Cardone, he is very the way he teaches is really interesting, right? He's very honest, very, very straightforward, and I appreciate that, because sometimes you need a tough love, tough
yes.
I have to say, during COVID, COVID, it's like my business kind of flopped, like dropped. This is before Macy's was formed, even though it was in the work already in my mind, but it was a tough month right after COVID, I have to say, so that's the reason why I joined 10X. At that time, before 10X, I only have like probably 2 to 3 clients, after COVID. It was tough. A lot of people not signing on and stuff like that, But after 10X, I just took his 10X income system, which I thought is a great program. They have a lot of like modules there. I learned, he has this interesting virtual coaching thing inside his program. So I was like, wow, this is really cool, And they suggest that based on my personality test, they have personality tests in there called DISC, DISC, yeah. And then they recommended me to take the marketing mastery. So I did that. So I actually did that. With just that one class, I actually have a new mindset. This is what I want to share. It's one thing. People see, a lot of us see sales as like, it's a taboo thing, right? And also, like, if people said, no, next time, they was like immediately like closed off, like we feel rejected and we feel like, okay, bye. But I used to do that. And then so for the like few months, before 10X, I got some of those like, oh yeah, I'm going to do something. And then they like, oh, I'm going to push it back for a month. So to me, like, but then I missed the follow-up part. So when Grant Cardone said one thing, he said, any leads, even uninterested leads is a lead. I'm like, whoa, so what does that mean? All you need to do is just ask them why they're not interested. Okay, so that's changed the whole thing. Okay, now
breakthrough, aha moment, like we say.
And I start following up, and I'm following up in the creative ways, and not pushy, just being there, bringing values. Whether it is you're following up with like, hey, how are you doing? Right? Hey, this, hey, we have something going on, hey, we are inviting you to this and that, so it doesn't have to be sale. It just can be friendship. Okay.
There you go.
And they come, okay, and they refer, and I actually end up hiring. I didn't realize that I cannot do it alone. I hire one of our clients to help us with sale because he has some like connections.
Oh, get out!
And he was like struggling during COVID, so I'm like, you know what? I can use, I can ask you to help me with that, so it's a give and take, and then so the great thing is now we have about 13 clients within 2 months.
Awesome.
Yeah. Bravo. Like 9 of them are active. Yeah. So to me, like that's what 10X brought. We 10X, we really 10X our clientele, and I love them. Like the best part is they're like great clients. They are great clients, good people. They're very respectful, and they're very inspiring to me. I love looking for inspiring, good people.
People.
I want them to.
You have to love the people that you work with. It's important.
Yeah.
People are clients,
Yeah. So I love helping them, and it's just a fun collaboration because you can tell like how much they love their business, how much they love their family, or like their products. Some people like really love their products. So I always like something, like something that they're passionate about, whether it is a family, whether it is a business, or it's something, But because that's how I draw the brand inspiration from. Talking about branding, right?
Awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of people start their branding. They just said, "Oh, I have an opportunity to design logo for someone." Okay, and honestly, I was excited to help them, and then I met the owner. And the owner was not inspiring, I have to say. did not even put any thought about the name of the company. I was like, how did you, I was interested, how do you come up with the name, right? Kind of like how you asked me, and there was nothing. There was like nothing
Mm-hmm.
to draw from, and it's like, oh, I just picked
Yeah.
something from, I think it sounds like this, and I'm like, so there, and then also like, because when you see someone doesn't like put much thought and heart into it, they're in it just for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that in running business. I just cannot design for them. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So it's to me, it's I can design for them. I can make stuff up. I can make stuff up. It's just not gonna be a fun collaboration. And so I end up just pricing it high, and they went away. So yeah,
a little trick.
Yes, I'm like, if you want me to come up with all this stuff that's like, you want me to come up with the vision, I better charge you for my vision then. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to put in my vision,
Mm-hmm.
So if someone come to me with their vision, then that's a different ballgame, then I can help you with that.
I hear
and
you.
the price will be reasonable.
I hear you. I hear you.
Because I love working on it. Yeah.
We've got 15 minutes left, and I had 2 last questions for you.
Great.
The first one, since we are on Instagram, I was curious to know, like, how long have you been on Instagram, on this platform to promote your brand, promote yourself, and all that good stuff?
I actually been on Instagram for like 5 years. I started it because I was trying to promote the Curious Morphology brand. That was the reason.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I got sidetracked, to be honest with you. I ended up becoming like, it's a platform. I didn't even like promote using Instagram, to be honest with you. I haven't really promoted like much, for our business yet. And it was ended up to become just a self-expression type of platform, So all of my followers are organically, come on board. And I'm friends with some of them, like I actually hit up some of them. We really, because they're just, we just click, and to me, that's right now that I realize that social media, from Grant Cardone, 10x, I think social media is a good platform actually to, to promote and stuff. So I have to kind of take advantage of that, because then we can reach, more people to help them out. And like they said, like he said a lot of good things actually. Like Grant, I would say he said something. If I don't see you, I cannot follow you, right? He said like that, So which means like if people cannot see you, they don't find you.
So true.
Then they don't know what you offer. So I start being more
Exactly.
mindful to be more visible and like getting people to know what we do, like branding stuff. So I'm gonna roll out more things. We actually start creating an offer now. We have the link tree. Like if you go to like my Erna Blooms, at Erna Blooms or at Blooming Aces, we have a link there where you can see all of our offering. 2 of them that we roll out. Yeah, 2 of them that we roll out. That's pretty cool.
Anyways, what I'm going to do before the end of the right at the end of the live, I'm definitely going to tag you in the comments, so that people can go straight to your profile and go and check that link in your bio if they want to, take a look. Even take a look also at your, you have that entrepreneurial group also that you have for accountability, support, and all that good stuff. And my last question for you, Erna, was, since we were talking about 10x and entrepreneurs, when the year is about to come, we always not resolutions, but we're planning our next year, right?
Yes.
So my last question to you would be, how are you planning to 10x 2021, Erna?
Ooh, 10x. Well, I will say, the mission is going to be the same. I will say we have a couple of rollout that we like intentionally want to roll out next year. But we will definitely 10x our impact. We want to 10x our impact. Okay. And because that impact will involve business and life. We're always all about this integrating business and life, and because we don't, a lot of if you only focusing on the business or focusing on your life, something is not gonna 10x, you know. So you have to like sustain yourself, you know, number one with the life part, and then you have to sustain your business with the profit part, you know. So that's why, like, I think I have this year I've discovered that our entrepreneurs that I've been helping on the brand side need something beyond just the brand design. It's called business growth coaching, you know. So that's what I'm doing. Like my new program is now, I cannot help myself. I just, every time I do brand design, they always end up needing coaching on the brand, I mean, the business growth side. So I just decided that we have a new program now that's just combining both of them, because it just makes sense. You cannot just have the design and not grow it, no marketing idea, you know, no like channel to grow the profit and stuff, you know, because you have to do both. And then on top of it, without them realizing it, I sometimes coach them on life too, you know. Like, how do you make sure that you don't get burnout? How do you build your team, you know, to make sure you get there faster, and then you can aim for that freedom lifestyle, you know. At the end of the day, you know, each one of us want to have freedom lifestyle. So how does that look like? Let's define your success. Let's define your happiness. You know, sometimes people say, I want to have freedom. Okay, what does that freedom mean, right? What is that freedom, you know, like, what is that sounds like, you know, how does it look like in the numbers, right? So I actually, next year, I'm building up a framework called Vision Blueprint. Okay, Vision Blueprint. So yeah, so you start with the vision and set up the mindset for the bigger capacity to reach your goal, and then design it so that you have the right message for your brand, you know. And the last part, action roadmap. How do you build a team? You know, how do you like run your operation? You know, how do you promote? You know, so all of these 4 pillars that I developed for Vision Blueprint is what I put on my Instagram. Actually, it's kind of so vision, mindset, brand design, as well as action roadmap. You know, so all this is kind of important. You know, so next year we're gonna roll out. We actually soft launched this like just recently. 2 things. One is like brand audit. The other one is like mastermind group. So it's like mastermind group that's really, really entry level, really, you know, inexpensive. It's like $75 per month. You know, just meeting 2 times. You can. It's a small group of 10 people, up to 10 people. You know, you can ask anything. So someone can say, oh, I want to start my business. I don't know where to begin. Come. You know, you can ask, I can tell you, you know, or like someone's like, oh, I've been doing business for so long, but I'm struggling in this area. You can come and ask those questions. Yeah. So that's why, the reason why everything's so custom. So it's hard for me to like create something just one-stop solution, either one-on-one coaching, which could be expensive for some people. You know, they might not be able to afford it. So I created this mastermind group as a solution for people that don't even know yet exactly what they need. So they can come and ask those questions. They can go back and do their homework and come back again.
Resources,
you know, so
basically.
Yeah. 2 times, you know, 2 times a month, you know, so it's kind of a good pace for some people, you know. And so I figured like hopefully that will help some people, you know, to get it going again.
For sure.
Our goal is to get you to the next level. So get next level, because that's how we get there, you know. So, and it's never ending. We have a tagline said, vision to infinite growth. Not vision to success.
Blooming aces.
Vision
Blooming
to infinite growth. Yes. Hopefully that answer your question.
Absolutely, and I'm sure this moment you and I had today, I'm sure it inspired a lot. I know it inspired me to see how, you know what, whenever you have an idea, a project, a concept, to see how, you know, you just dive into it. That's absolutely inspiring, powerful, you know, because some of us here are overthinkers a lot.
Me too, right here, overthinker.
Over analyzing, you know, but I should more say analyze. How do you say it? Analysis paralysis.
I call it idea paralysis. Analysis paralysis. You're right. There's 2 kinds, right? Idea paralysis and analysis paralysis. both of those together. Yeah. It makes people like.
That's such a good point, Erna.
Yeah.
Such a good point. Right. So to see how, you know, you get an idea, you see a need basically in your community around you, and you just you know, jump head on. That's absolutely admirable, and I applaud you for that, Erna.
Thank you. You too.
So you too. On you that note,
yeah, you started your podcast too. That's amazing too.
I was about to say, if anybody had any questions for you, We have 8 minutes left. If anybody here has any questions for Erna, go ahead, ask her, I should say. I'm sure she would love to answer some of your questions. Let's see.
Thank you for having me, by the way.
What did you say?
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for accepting as well.
Yeah.
And for sure, we will definitely do that in the future if you'd like to
Yes,
see basically your progress next year, how things are going for you in 2021.
Yeah,
and anything else to add, Erna?
I will say, if I have to say to all of our audience, don't wait. Just don't wait. Just start today. Like, ask yourself one question. Well, first of all, I always like to ask people, like, what is your fulfillment level from 0 to 10? What's your fulfillment level? And ask yourself, like, how do you get? Like, for example, you said, 6, right? A lot of people say 6, and then ask yourself, like, how to get to like 8. How to get to 8 and start going there. Like, I even get to 7. What is it in your life? Is it family? Is it business? Right? What is it? That you really want to achieve, and don't let the noise get into you. Just be in the zone with yourself. Don't let anybody, including yourself, like sometimes your own like self-doubt and your own voices doubt it.
Oh yes.
Don't get.
Yes.
Ask the question and answer it. What is it? And then ask yourself, why not?
I love this advice. Really love that. That's the best way we could have ended Mindfeed today.
Oh, great.
Well, once again, Erna, I want to thank you a million for accepting my invitation. You guys, thank you for being here, for being on on Mindfeed with Natacha. Tatiana, thank you for being here. Nuriana, Sharon, who was here again? Let's see. Oh my God, there's a few people. Claudienne, Sumi, Shelby,
Hi, Zizu.
Alpha, Zezu. Not sure if it's the right name, but Zezu, thank you for being here.
Did we say your name,
Erna,
Zizu?
happy holidays if we don't see each other.
Yeah.
And thank you again for being on Mindfeed with Natacha. This was awesome.
Yes. Thank you. I had fun too. Thank you so much for having me.
Au revoir. Have a rocking day, you guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Erna.
Bye.
Bye-bye.